The 12th chapter of Two Blue Vortex has been a complete banger, with Boruto revealing a lot more about his destructive rasengan as well as the revival of his master. The medium for reviving Sasuke seems to be a small chakra fruit known as the soul thorn, and the reveal of this fruit has indirectly teased the intriguing plot points of the story. So to understand how the soul thorn lays the foundation for the most gigantic plot twist of the franchise, alongside the possible symbolism behind Sumire's cover art, let's open this chapter with Boruto's arrival to Sarada's rescue. So basically, Boruto fulfilled the promise that he made to Sasuke by saving his daughter from getting annihilated. As already shown in the promo panel, Boruto uses the Gale Palm to get rid of Hidari, and he's also able to swiftly dodge his attacks. The fate that Hidari faces later in the chapter is completely destructive, but something that a lot of people are ignoring is the undermining of Sarada's character. She's getting the Sakura treatment since someone needs to come to her rescue every time, which raises a very important question. What happened to her Mangekyou Sharingan? The most hyped dojutsu, which concluded the first part of the story, is nowhere to be seen, even though the manga is about to complete a full year of serialization. Well, a simple explanation would be she was never made aware of her Mangekyou Sharingan, meaning that she has no idea about its possession. This won't be the first time it's happening in the Uchiha clan, but the whole Mangekyou hype is slowly coming to an end. It's also possible that someone made her aware of the drawbacks of using the Mangekyou since she doesn't have the EMS. But the true reason behind why she isn't using her ocular power is something that only time can answer. The chapter moves forward to Kawaki and Delta, who are shocked to witness the unreal speed of Boruto, and Kawaki refers to his teleportation as a space-time ninjutsu. Well, he isn't wrong, since the Flying Thunder God is often regarded as a space-time jutsu, and the official Naruto website also confirms Boruto's variant being a bit different than his grandfather. But keeping those things aside, Kawaki took a glance at Jura, who was calmly looking at the direction where the Hidari fight was taking place. The Shinju boss seems unbothered by the circumstances of his ally, and the end of this chapter tells us why it's like that. Kawaki starts to wonder what Jura is planning, but never in his wildest dreams could he figure out what was about to happen next. Meanwhile, Delta confirms the location of Himawari and Boruto, and then we are taken back to the battlefield. Sumire tells Boruto how the Shinju is targeting Sarada, and his prime goal could be to devour her. Sarada adds by saying, could this bloodthirst of his enemy be an outcome of Sasuke's woodification? Konohamaru gets alert upon hearing and starts questioning if this tree formation is the same as what happened to Moegi. Further, it's revealed the Grimes of Code are still in action, and they can use the claw marks to emerge and create nuisance. I'm not sure whether they referenced Code controlling them or the Grimes acting on their own. Either way, Boruto came up with a plan to deal with them. But before that, a huge misconception about Hidari gets cleared, with Boruto telling Sarada to not hold back, since the life of Sasuke has nothing to do with the Shinju, and the only way to get Sasuke back is to defeat the monster in front of them. Konohamaru interrupts Boruto by asking him how he knows so much, again instating that something fishy is going behind the back. He gets a cold response which is no less than a warning, and is advised to not lose his focus. Shortly, Boruto commands Nishi to check for any changes in the chakra pool around him and inform him if he finds something. But the Jonin gives him a rude response by calling him a criminal. Here Boruto is getting the Sasuke treatment, as in the eyes of everyone, he is still the Hokage killer who had left the village 3 years ago. But this doesn't stop him from doing what's right, as it's the only thing which keeps his hopeless heart burning with the will of fire. It kinda devalues the prophecy of Momoshiki as well, since he had predicted a future for Boruto where he would wish to die. But looking at how things have went so far, he's able to keep his emotions and actions in check. Anyway, back to the manga. Nishi informs a surge in chakra, and shortly an army of claw grimes emerge. Boruto tells Sarada that he's gonna deal with them, and she should only counter the attacks that are thrown at her. Soon Boruto goes on a killing streak, destroying one grime after another. Sarada also pushes away some of them, but ends up facing Hidari. Luckily, Boruto uses the rasengan to slow him down, and the things take an interesting turn from this point. Hidari uses the claw mark to escape back to his hiding place, where he quickly heals himself and emerges again. Sarada tells Boruto to just fly and stomp him with another rasengan, but there is a completely different plan going on in his mind. The young lord is planning to create the rasengan Uzuhiko just to ride the end of Hidari. He tells Sarada to buy him some time, and Konohamaru also joins in to distract the Grimes as well as Hidari. The Shinju grabs Sarada and tries to abduct her, but she uses the Chidori stream to escape. Meanwhile, Boruto gives us a lot more intel about the Rasengan Uzuhiko and how it could be the most deadly jutsu of all time. This technique is said to have limitless potential as it utilizes the rotation and evolution of the planet fueled by the centrifugal force to create a cyclone variation of the Rasengan. It seems like the more time the user takes to charge the Uzuhiko, the more deadly wave of force gets released on the opponent. Back when Boruto used it on Code, there was no killing intent, which is how we survived. But now when it comes to Hidari, it took him a lot more time to charge the Uzuhiko, which led to a deadly release of Rasengan's energy, completely annihilating Hidari in just one shot. He was left with just a portion of his body, and just at the last moment, Kawaki appeared to destroy him with a stomp, leaving no trace behind. Not to mention, Sarada also used the Chidori stream to corner Hidari to throw him in the air before Boruto could finish him up with the final blow. This shows the unbreakable teamwork of Team 7 and how they may be getting rid of more major villains in the future. Now the remains of Hidari turned into a chakra fruit type of thing, which has been named the Soul Thorn. It appears to be something that will help Boruto in reviving Sasuke. There are a lot of questions that have emerged after this item was revealed. Kashin Koji seems to have seen this before, and we have no clue how. Kawaki questions the same thing to Boruto, who's feeding him with this information and how he knows so much. It would be interesting to see how this item connects with the other plot points of the story, be it the Jogan, missing Otsutsuki's, Kami Otsutsuki, Shibai, and even Amado's schemes. It has already teased the possibility for 3 huge plot twisters popping up, but before we head over to them, let's take a look at the finale of this chapter. Suddenly Boruto gets hit by a Jubidama from Jura, who was standing miles away from him. It quickly made him fall down, and Jura was able to get back the Soul Thorn by manipulating the gravitational force. The concluding panel unveils the new plan of Jura and how he's surprised at Boruto's knowledge of the Soul Thorn. He now wants to kill Boruto, as Kawaki must be sufficient for the god tree sacrifice. The shocking reaction of Jura only hints at Boruto having a secret source, which gives him information that he cannot obtain from anywhere else. The first of the 3 possibilities is Momoshiki, who must have the knowledge of everything that has happened in the history of Otsutsuki's and the Ten Tails. There's a good amount of chance for Momoshiki to appear in the next chapter, since Boruto has lost his consciousness and now the monster has the best chance to come out. If you take a look at the sequence of Boruto getting shot in a chronological order, the moment before Jura shoots his shot, Kawaki questions Boruto about his informer, so logically thinking he should have answered this question if he had not been shot. But now that he's about to lose consciousness, there's a good amount of chance for Kawaki's question to be answered, as Momoshiki is going to appear himself. This makes the monster the infamous informer of Boruto, who knows everything about the Shinjus and their capabilities. The second possibility for the source of Boruto's knowledge can be the most awaited eye, the Jogan. The reason I think so has something to do with the cover art and the title of this chapter. It's called the Soul Thorn and has Sumire with the flower background on the cover page. I think this hints at some connection of Sumire with the otherworldly stuff going on in the story. We have already seen the Jogan reacting to the chakra of her yokai in the anime, and now that she has been associated with an item which is associated with the soul of a Shinju, here's a theory that might explain her pure eye connection. As we know, there's a pure land in the Narutoverse where the soul of every dead creature ends up. The Jogan can have connection to this realm since they sound a lot similar. However, the involvement of Sumire in this stems from her connection to Niue, whose pure Otsutsuki energy resonates with the Jogan. This may be one of the reasons she is immune from omnipotence, as Niue is powering her with Otsutsuki chakra that she cannot use in combat, but it's potent enough to keep her immune. Now the next stage of this theory comes from this piece of information that came out early this year. It talks about a being called Kami Otsutsuki who belonged to a world that does not exist anymore. He is the creator of the whole Narutoverse, and he might not be Shibai Otsutsuki. The reason I think so is because it was explicitly mentioned that he belonged to a world whose existence has been ceased. So what if this X universe was a place which has pre-written the destiny of every human being, and their souls later transcended to the realm created by Kami Otsutsuki? This brings in the concept of reincarnation in the story. The world of Kami that has been annihilated contained the original soul impression of every character in the story, and Sumire somehow tapped into her Otsutsuki essence that she was destined to have, since her counterpart from the previous life had it as well. The medium here was Niue, and maybe that's why she was on a cover page of the chapter which talks about the soul thorns. The Jogan could have helped Koji and Boruto to see into the history of Otsutsukis and how the system of the Ten Tails actually works. This might be why Koji recognized the soul thorn at first glance. He had already seen it somewhere else. Now as for the final possibility of how Boruto knows about the soul thorns, it could be that he either tapped into the memories of Momoshiki and was somehow able to show them to Koji too. Or they both may have time traveled to the past just to see this item secretly popping up during the war arc. It could contain the entire soul impression of a certain individual, which is how it would revitalize the body of Sasuke by literally granting him his lost soul back. Boruto may have seen them while researching for the horrors of Ten Tails in the past, and that's why Koji remembers the appearance of this fruit. We will take a deep dive into the role of this item alongside a lot more theories from this chapter, so make sure to subscribe to not miss that. You can find some more amazing content in these videos, and I will see you next time.